Sup. Going live because we're alive. I'm alive. You're alive. We're alive. All right. Of course, those of y'all who are familiar with the channel, familiar with how this goes. Welcome. Come well. To another episode, another doorway, another portal entitled Amias as I am, as you are. So, please arrive as you are, because I arrive as I am. You see this costume and mask I am? If you pick another card, I'm going to flash my hand. But I'd rather flash lights like a flashlight. Damn. I'm sky high if you pass by land. Never let a meal pass my hand. Something like an animal when it pass by man. If passes by, but you ain't seeing me. Shattered glass in your eye. Step out the car seat, pass to the side, put you in the baby seat, put gas in the ride. From the grass to the sky, from the sky to the star. Pulling up to the side of his car. Or we could drag race. Put him last place. From a black space, no wave high from afar. But let me pause real quick. Because when I rule, the laws get sick. You force the enforcement, I force it to stick. Or I'm Morpheus, morph to a tick. A little nursery rhyme for y'all at the moment. Warm up before I open this discussion, before I open this topic. Yep. So today we're going to touch upon an interesting topic that did not let me sleep. It kept bothering me. It kept waking me up. The spirit kept saying, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Write this down. Wake up, write this down. Wake up, write this down. And it's basically kind of an extension off of a word I was speaking of, or I spoke of in yesterday's live. And that word being midichlorian or midichlorians. I don't know if you did your research or you did your homework or you Googled it and I told you look it up for yourself. Check out the definition of what this thing truly is and what it truly means and its purpose, its divine purpose in our human existence, our human experience, its divine existence in our human experience. And I want to go a little more deeper into it, slightly deeper into it today because it was just informing me to do so. So I'm going to carry out this mission and this task today and just explain a little bit of what it is according to this path. All right? According to the understanding of this path and the truth of this path. Okay, the word midichlorian, right? Midichlorian. Spell it out one more time. I spelled it out last time. I'll spell it out one more time. midichlorian. Midichlorian. And what are these midichlorians? Well, first of all, let's dive into dictionary definition of what a midichlorian is and why it's so relevant on what the hell this thing is, and why I felt it was relevant for you to know what it is as well, because it's something inside of you that you have to understand and maybe tap into or reach into when and if desired to do so, or informed to do so. Okay. Let me see. So let's look at the dictionary definition of what a midichlorian is. Midichlorians, a species of sentient and microscopic organisms that inhabit the cells of every life form. You hear that? A species of sentient and microscopic organisms that inhabit the cells of every life form. Integral to the all-encompassing energy field of force. The connection between the living force and the cosmic force. We're going to get more into it. So one more time, the definition of a midichlorian, which is inside of you, which is inside of me, which is inside of us, which exists. It's a real thing, or real identification of energy. A species of sentient and microscopic organisms that inhabit the cells of every life form. Integral to the all-encompassing energy field of force. The connection between the living force and the cosmic force. The living force, which is us, and the cosmic force. It's the connection in a symbiotic relationship with the cell. It's within a symbiotic relationship with the cell. So there's a relationship, there's a connection from the cell to the cosmic atmosphere, from the cosmic atmosphere to the cells in your body. There's a direct connection, a symbiotic relationship between the two. Right? Now, this is what midichlorians are. And these things reside within each cell in your body. Right? So this is what a midichlorian is. According to the dictionary definition, right? A species of sentient and microscopic organisms. But what is sentient? Somebody's probably saying, what the hell is sentient? Well, let's look at the definition of sentient. Able to perceive and feel things, having the power of perception through the senses. Able to perceive and feel things, having the power of perception through the senses. Characterized by sensations and consciousness, abstract, having the capacity to have feelings, and this requires having a level of awareness and cognitive ability, which means being extra sensitive to that which is present within you, which is present as you, which you are present of as well, in return to the symbiotic relationship. Right? Midichlorians, sentience. These things are alive and living things inside of the cells, each cell in your body. Right? We're going to get a little more deep into it. It gets a little more interesting. Okay. The next line in doorway is beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, vibration. Beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, vibration. 5 things. The heart beats, creates a wave. That wave is identified as a pulse. That pulse is a certain kind of rhythm going throughout the body, and that rhythm finds its end result, which is a vibration or a vibrating force. Right? Well, why am I talking about this? It's basically the cosmic pulse and tune of the midichlorian. It is the cosmic pulse and it is the tune of the midichlorian. This is what it is. So my question to you is, what is your specific beat of life? What is your own specific beat of life? The vibration is the spiritual end product of the soul's beat, meaning the spirit is the moving or vibrating movements of the solar beating. What does that mean? These midichlorians, which exist within your cells, within each individual cell, the existence of this thing this phenomenon called midichlorian. Midichlorians exist within each cell. And basically, once again, it's the direct connection, it's the bridge between the cosmos and the biology, or astrology and biology, the ologies. Astrology, biology, which affects the psychology. Psychology, astrology, biology, biology, astrology, psychology. It's the three ologies, the trifecta, the triune, the triangle of life or experience or existence. They're all connected, right? So while I said beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, and vibration, I call these the 5 points or 5 principles of manifestation. Beat, wave, sends a wave throughout the body. Pulse, creates a pulse, showing that it reached certain distant places. That beat reached the wrist, reached the neck, the certain pulses. That pulse now becomes a rhythm, a certain kind of rhythm that you're on that keeps you here present and appearing in front of this camera or on the other side of this camera or in front of me. And that rhythm is the vibration which is being held in place. So that vibration creates the manifestation of you. So this is once again an easy way to understand principle or to utilize these tools of principle in some form of way to actually bring about manifestation. Whether you want to manifest success, you want to manifest a house, you want to manifest a car, you want to manifest, food to go food shopping or whatever it may be. These are the 5 principles of manifestation: beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, and vibration. 5 principles of manifestation. This beating comes from, of course, it comes from a very inner innate nucleus within the cell, within the intelligence of the cell. And the intelligence of the cell, once again, is the midichlorians. The midichlorians, once again, is the bridge between the cosmic force and the living force. And if you were to put your hand to feel out in the cosmos what's going on out there, what they call the cosmic atmosphere, or the universe, it's a certain kind of beat, it's a certain kind of wave, it's a certain kind of pulse, it's a certain kind of rhythm, it's a certain kind of vibration. And this is what keeps you in this body. This is what keeps me, and that's what keeps you in your physical form, in your physical manifestation. So it keeps this thing manifesting. This is why these are the 5 principles of manifestation: beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, and vibration. Once you master this and you have a technique and you master these 5 things, you put into a strategy and a certain kind of training of the mind to bring about what you want to bring about, to call forth or bring forth what you want to bring forth, then that specific formula is mastered. See, but it's all mind, it's mental. It definitely deserves attention, acknowledgement, because attention is life. So you're giving life to something that you want to have around the life of you, or to become the life of you, or for you to become the life of. See, so the midichlorians is the intelligence, and since it's connected to the cosmos or the cosmic force, that's a vibration which brings the beating of the heart. So the very beating of the heart is the source of where that intelligence of the universal pulse is directly connected to. You understand? So that's why I say, what is your beat of life? When they, that's saying, the beat of life. The beat of life is, I think it was maybe on like a radio kind of commercial was saying, or something. It was saying, what is the beat of life? Well, this is the beat of life. Tune in to W dot whatever or WKF, whatever name of a radio station or frequency. And that's a real thing. What is your beat of life? Because that is the intelligence within you that you can actually train according to your mind and have in a certain way and navigate according to your intent, how you want to be and how you want things to be and how, you want to have things around you, in the orbit around you, your life, your success, whatever you want to do. You start to practice these 5 principles, these 5 principles of manifestation. See, and the end is the vibration. The vibration is the identification of the rhythm. The rhythm derives from the pulse. The pulse derives from the wave, or the pulse is the actual kind of beating and sound of a translucent wave, and that wave begins from a beating first happening. See, so these are principles to understand. But that beating comes from the midichlorian, or the intelligence of the midichlorian, because it's connected to the cosmos. The beating, the pulse, the wave, the rhythm, the vibration of the cosmos is within your heart. Because I ask myself, I'm saying, yeah, the heart beats, but where the hell does this beating even come from? Why is the heart even beating? It doesn't take batteries. You know what I'm saying, what is it connected to, or plugged into, or tied to, that it's creating this beating phenomenon? How is it beating on its own? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get how it beats on its own. Explain that to me. And you have to talk to your spirit. You have to talk to that which is beyond the physical form to understand that intelligence that is beyond the physical form, which means prior to the physical form, in another way of understanding. So beyond just means prior. Supersede just means to recede. So you have to recede back to that emptiness, or that nothing, to understand what that whole something is about. Remember, your name is backwards, is emin, which is an emanation. You're an emanation. A beating. Sound. You form. Your mother, your parents call your name, you form and turn to them. That's a form you're turning into when you turn around and look at them. Everything is about beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, and vibration. Once again, today we're touching upon the word midichlorian. Midichlorians. Don't forget that word. Okay. So basically, when I was saying the vibration is the spiritual end product of the soul's beat, meaning the spirit is the moving or vibration or vibrating movement of the solar beating. And this is what you call your spirit. This is why they say human comes from the spirit and the spirit comes from the soul. But what do they mean by that? When you break down the word soul, it's also the same word as the word cell or cellular, like solar, cellular, cell, soul. But what is this soul? It's a certain, when it identifies itself in a certain kind of dimension, which we can identify and see what it is, it's a certain kind of beat from an unknown space of existence. It's a certain kind of beat, wave, pulse, rhythm. The vibration is the manifestation of us, which is why as a heartbeat, you stay manifested. When it stops to beat, you start to just, your body shrinks, skin disappears, and all you're left with is just hair, nails, and bone. Because the beat has stopped. You're no longer that beat of life, that present beat of life, that physical beat of life that you once was at one time. See, so what we call the soul is the midichlorians in each one of your cells, bringing the bridge between the cosmic life force and the living life force. It's bringing that cosmic beat into the living atmosphere, or the physical atmosphere, the dimension, the plane of existence, the life that you're living, that you're alive within right now. So it gives this beat, all the cells in your body give off this cosmic beat. And this cosmic beat creates a cosmic uniform, a cosmic beat uniform, or a uniform of a beat. And that uniform of a beat is the thing that animates and moves the body, which is what you call your spirit. You get it? The human comes from the spirit comes from the soul. The trifecta, the triune, the triangle, the three things, the three connections, the three things. You can't have a shape of one line. You can't have a shape of two lines. You can have a shape of three lines. That's the first shape in existence. This is why it shapes you. It shapes your perception. It shapes your way of thinking. Shapes your way of living. Shapes your way of existing. Shapes your experience. Anything and everything about you, it's shaping you to a certain degree. You understand? So what you call your spirit, once again, well, how the hell do I define my spirit? No, what they say the spirit comes from the soul, but how do I understand that? It doesn't make any sense to me. Give me a simple way to understand it. I just gave it to you. The midichlorian is the last point of synthesization the least common denomination of synthesization within your cell. Cell is soul. Cellular is the solar activity. The activity on the cellular is the spirit that acts and moves and animates the body. Because these cells, these midichlorians, which are activated and bringing off this cosmic beat, this cosmic wave, this cosmic pulse, this cosmic rhythm, this cosmic vibration in place, is the spirit. So all these things, all these cells inside of you waking up and doing this one beat and wave and pulse, rhythm and vibration creates a uniform, or a beat, wave, and pulse and rhythm creates this uniformed vibration. This uniformed vibration is the only thing that animates and moves and becomes mobile, or is kinetic energy, when it becomes that uniform, that invisible uniform, which we identify and know and call or coin as the spirit. And that's why the spirit comes from the soul, or the cell, or that thing inside the cell, which is the midichlorian. You see, this is the deep intelligence of what we're talking about right now. This is the whole point. This is why the name of this video is, what is the I that I am? The I am is the physical, but the I, letter I, is something totally different. It's the impersonal. But actually, in certain ways of looking at it, the am is also impersonal as well, and the I is the personal aspect. It all depends on where your perception is and where your knowledge of this understanding is. But it can get a lot deeper. Don't get it twisted. It's very simple to understand once you have awareness and a clear perception. Okay? And it gets a little more interesting. This trust me, it's going to start unraveling to other avenues and branching out to other ways of understanding as we go along. All right? As we roll this out. The next line in doorway is, hold on, 1 nanosecond. Give me 1 nanosecond. 1 nanosecond. Be right back. All right. I hope y'all sat with that for a minute. Understood what I was telling you. Because it's very important that you understand that brief information I just shared with y'all in order to remain connected with the point I'm about to make, or the point I'm about to make connected to it. All right. The next line in the doorway is, everything is a rhythm. What does this mean? Life has a rhythm. Life has a rhythm, and life has a rhythm, death has a rhythm, health has a rhythm, sex has a rhythm. Everything is within a rhythmic nature of being. You have to find your rhythm, or identify these rhythms. Identify these rhythms by identifying the beat, the wave, and the pulse which derive, or which is the beginning point of these rhythms. What's good, brother? What's going on, family? I'm glad you tuned in. Appreciate that, fam. Appreciate that. Um, so life has a rhythm, death has a certain kind of rhythm, health has a certain kind of rhythm, and sex has a certain kind of rhythm. Remember, rhythm, the five principles of manifestation: beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, and finally vibration are the 5 points and 5 principles of manifestation. This is why you are a manifesto. You are manifested in the physical form because a vibration is being held in place. And all this derives from the very intelligence or the middle intelligence the of the cellular network, which is called the midichlorian, right? So you have to find your rhythm. And when you break down the word rhythm, you get re and them, which is actually Ra's theme, or the theme of Ra, or Ra's theme, which means communication of dark light or communication of light's darkness, which is once again the intelligence of cosmic tune, to tune in with fine tuning. So rhythm means Ra's theme. Ra is known as the light, the god of light, the god of sunlight, which is also known as the god of the perfect black, darkness. And theme is basically just a certain kind of communication or a certain kind of talking or a situation. So it's a point of communication. It's the communication of light or light's communication to you. So a rhythm, Ra theme, rhythm means a light or a communicating light or a light or kind of communicating with a certain kind of spectrum of light, the intelligence of light, the intelligence of spectrum or the communicational aspect of a spectrum of light communicating to you and through you for some reason. And when that happens, it automatically, the end product of that is what we know and identify as a rhythm. Absolute. CICORW. Appreciate you for tuning in. Absolute. See, so remember, thinking and thought are two different things as well. But it's an exact of what I understand where you're coming from. See, this is you're dealing with Ra's theme. You're dealing with what the ancient Egyptians or ancient Kemetic ancestors know as Ra, or what they call sun worship, but they weren't worshiping the sun. That's that was terribly misunderstood. But dealing with the light aspect, when you deal with the light aspect, you're also dealing with the opposite polarization of light, which is darkness. I guess a little more deep into the information as I go along. But rhythm or Ra's theme just means communicating with dark light or in communication with light to darkness, or the dark aspect of light or the light aspect of darkness. Okay. um, which is once again the intelligence of cosmic tune, to tune in with fine tuning. See, so you're tuned in. Like I said, life has a rhythm. As you're alive right now in your life, your heart is beating a certain thing, creating a wave, creating a pulse, creating a rhythm. And then its end product is the vibration, which is the manifestation of you. So life has a beat, life has a rhythm. Death has a beat, death has a rhythm. When you're dying or you're on your way out, transitioning, graduating, transcending from this body, the beat, heartbeat goes into a certain kind of beat and rhythm. Life has a rhythm, death has a rhythm. Health has a rhythm. When you're healthy, your heart beats a certain way, creating a certain kind of wave and pulse and rhythm and vibration throughout the body, keeping the manifestation of you. And sex has a rhythm, which is why people have sex in a certain kind of rhythm. It's always a certain kind of rhythm. Ra's theme, the communicative light, the conversation with the divine spectrum within you, most importantly, most relevant. That point is most relevant, most important. So you're communicating with this inner light that derives from a prior or pre-darkness or a primal darkness, right? Because light can only know itself once it's housed in darkness. That's how light knows of itself, as if it's within complete darkness. See, so this is why the cosmos are in complete darkness. Or what we know, what we call the holographic universe out there, the cosmos, as complete darkness, or the perfect black, or the jet black, or the pitch black. So we know of ourselves as light beings because we are housed or homed in the abode of the dark womb, which is why we all come on and slip out of a damn dark womb. And then you get enlightened and come into the knowledge of self later on. Right? Right. So life has a rhythm, death has a rhythm, health has a rhythm, sex has a rhythm. If you can be conscious during these times or these different situations that occur, put your hand in your heart and just feel it for a minute. Feel the rhythm when you have a headache. Put your hand in your heart when you have a headache. Put your hand in your heart when you have the flu. Put your hand in your heart when you feel happy. Put your hand in your heart when you feel pissed off. Put your hand in your heart when you feel confused. You see, this is your identification method. This is the central platform for self-identification in the body, so that you know what the body's going through. And you can identify these different beats, or maybe these different kind of Morse codes, because your heartbeat is going to beat differently during certain mental stages that you go through. So identify that beat. Be aware of that wave. Recognize the pulse. See how you move. See what the rhythm is. How you move, like this, or like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. See the rhythm of how it moves and how it acts and how it animates itself. Because that is the epitome of the vibration that is being held in place to keep the manifestation of you and whatever's going on within your abode, within your embodiment, within your vehicle, within your physical or skin vessel, within your organism, within your body. You see, and this all is given way and given evidence and given to you from the intelligence of the midichlorian. Midichlorian. For those that tapped in now, we're building upon the word midichlorian and why it's so relevant according to the understanding of this path. It's the central nucleus of a cell. It's the thing which creates a cell. And it's funny because it gets deeper, because there's other things that was so-called identified even within the midichlorian and what the midichlorian is composed of. The intelligence of a midichlorian. Once again, the midichlorian is the connection between cosmic force and life force. Cosmic force and life force. It's the direct thing in the middle that connects the bridge. Like you see, you got two hands. Clear example, I got two hands. You have two hands. We both have two hands, right? Two sides. Left hemisphere of the brain, right hemisphere of the brain. Right? Left side of the body, right side of the body. They can come together. And you see, when I put them together, they look like one hand depending upon what angle you're looking at. You can't see the other hand. And I can also do this and combine it and infuse it. Now it becomes a bridge. And this is the whole point, understanding of not falling for the good things or the bad things. Embrace both good and bad, heaven and hell, God, devil, night and day, up and down, in and out. It's all the same shit. But if you think it from the brain, you think there's two different polarities. But polarity is just giving evidence of the one thing which gives the birth to polarity for even to be. See, and this is the beat. Once again, referring back to the midichlorian, or the intelligence of the midichlorian inside of your cell, inside of each and every single cell in your body, is the intelligence of the cosmic life force and the bridge of the living force within every single cell in your body. Okay? And once again, like I told you before, the understanding of the soul, the spirit, And the human body animates because of the spirit, and the spirit comes from the soul. Well, how the hell do I understand that? It sounds nice, sounds ill, but how do I understand this shit? Well, I just told you. The midichlorian is the main thing, that's the bridge that's connecting you to cosmic life, to cosmic force, as a living force, as a physical force, as an alien, because that's what you are. You're an actual alien. Alien doesn't mean Aliens, the movie with Sigourney Weaver and, aliens and all this crazy shit and horror. No. Alien just means alienated. You're alienated. You're not from here. It's obvious. If you have something in you that's directly connected to the cosmos or cosmic force, how the hell can you be from here? And you have it within yourself, within each and every one of your cells, which you have billions and trillions of cells. You can't even, there's no way you can count. And I go deeper into that. It's not going to be a long show today. Getting straight to the point with certain things. But it goes deeper into even what a cell is. And I told you, the cell is the word soul. Cellular is also the word solar. As the midichlorians in each and every one of these cells inside of you is creating that cosmic beat, that cosmic wave, that cosmic pulse, that cosmic rhythm, making that vibration of you as that vibration, which is the end product of the beat, wave, pulse, and rhythm. The vibration is the fifth end product of the beat, wave, pulse, and rhythm. And the vibration is what you call this thing, this gossamer, this translucent, this invisible, intangible, phenomenal manifestation, which is called the spirit, which brings about animation to the body. So there is no spirit if each midichlorians are not pulsating and beating and waving in each one of your cells as one thing, as one orchestra of a beat, one orchestra of a wave, one orchestra of a pulse, one orchestra of a rhythm, creating this one suit, this invisible suit that you call your spirit, that creates a certain kind of movement and action to the human body. And this is what you call your spirit. This is why spirit comes from the soul, the solar connection. The solar connection is the midichlorian in each cell, which is in each soul. Let me not get too deep. I'm going to get a little more into that. I'm going to let you know what's going on. Well, you're neither your thought, you're not your brain nor your mind. You're beyond the gods, you're beyond the primal force. There is no way to identify that. What you are, you will never know. And what you ain't, you will know and have knowledge of. Which is, my name is Blue. I'm sitting in the room, having a live video stream. I'm wearing a black sweater, my name on it, I'm wearing stones, but I'm not wearing none of this. If I say, hey, I'm wearing a body, and it's a different conversation. So if you ask me and you say, what you wearing, Blue? And I'm saying, I'm wearing a sweater, and you know where I'm at. Mentally with my attention. But if you say, hey, Blue, what you wearing? I say, I'm wearing the body. Then I'm being the midichlorian. But it is the self, or it is the I, which is aware of your thoughts and the way you think. Because I made an example in the previous video. If you are your thoughts, if you're truly your thoughts, then how are you able to see your thoughts? A thought can't see a thought. A thought can only be a thought. It can't see a thought. So whatever you are, or whatever you truly are, don't ever look for a word or description or definition or label or title or name for it, because there is none of that for it. Just know that you are. That's it. There's nothing to put on it, over it, cover it, leave it alone as it is. It doesn't want to be covered, because if it was, it would give you a name. But since you can't find a name, you can say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm this, I'm that, which means it keeps slipping out of a name. You give it a name, it slips out that name. You give it a name, it slips out that name. You give it a name, it slips out that name. You give it a definition, it slips out that definition. You see what I'm saying? You give it this description, it slips out that description. It's like people say when they're together, oh, we're married. Oh, we're together. Oh, we're in a union. We're unified. We're one. We're a couple. It's spiritual. It keeps going on and on. You can't box it and trap it in a word, name, or label. But we're just talking about certain things to give a certain kind of identification right now of what I'm talking about, which was it's a scientific term, which is nothing but another identification of a certain kind of phenomenal energy form in existence and present within our human experience in this human body in a thing called a cell, which is known as the midichlorian. Okay. The next line in Odowe is everything is rhythmical or governed within a certain rhythm. Everything has its own unique identifying signature of reference. Understand that one more time. Everything in this existence is rhythmical, which is why music is so influencing and so inspiring, and so it can affect you, manipulate you, control you in different ways. Everything is rhythmical or governed within a certain rhythm. Everything has its own unique identifying signature of reference. Ritual is action, ceremony is sound. Every thought seeks to be acted out and spoken of, which means that that which can't be seen seeks to be seen, that which can't be heard seeks to be heard. It's a crossover, a dimensional crossover. It's trying to come through. Just like the midichlorian is that one thing that lets things come through to this. It lets the cosmic force come through the life force and come out as something else. You see? So this is the whole point. Everything is rhythmical or governed within a certain kind of rhythm. Everything has its own unique identifying signature of reference. You know, ritual is action, ceremony is sound, which is just combining action and sound, sound and action, and how these two things connect. Now, how they are, these two connections are governed within one temple, within one thing, which is you. And it shows of its existence within the physical body or the human body. But don't get it wrong. This is all divine understanding. This is all spiritual understanding. This has nothing to do with the human body. The human body is just a point of reference. You can say, oh, damn, there's so many things going on here. This is what I truly am. Damn, I'm never going to find a name or anything to title what I am. Exactly. What you truly are, you never will know. And what you don't know, what you truly are, you never will know. And what you're not, you'll have a knowledge of. Like you have a knowledge of who you are and your race and what kind of gender you are, male or female, and I live here. But what you truly are, you'll never know because you're not supposed to know. You can't know. It's impossible. Because you're going to want to put a word on it or description or label, title. That doesn't exist. Okay? The next line in our doorway is act, speak, feel, think. Right? And this is what it's trying to do. But understand, there's no need to act it out, speak of it, speak like it, feel for it, or feel like it, or think of it, or think like it. Just let it be as it is without anything extra added to it. No need to express yourself or speak your mind. Just be still and be quiet with it. Now, this is when something is trying to come out of you. Do you keep it there? Keep it within the potential that it arrived from. There's no need to act it out, speak it out. You're going to feel something, and you may have a thinking or thought that may pop up. But there's no need to direct or redirect your attention to that thought. So when I say there's no need to act it out, speak it out, feel it out, or think it out, it's trying to make the crossover from that which is invisible to that which is visible, to that which can't be touched, and to that which can be felt. It's trying to bring a certain kind of life to itself. It's trying to bring a certain kind of consciousness to itself through you, because you are the main thing that is the life and the consciousness. You see, it wouldn't be wise according to this path to let this out of you and to act it out and speak it out and consciously feel it and direct your attention to thinking like it if that thing of what you're going through in that moment is not of benefit to you and does not serve you. If you find yourself serving it like anger, frustration, madness, getting pissed off, wanting to curse somebody out, yell, scream, you have to find an internal way of doing that without acting it out, without speaking it out, without drowning yourself in the feeling of its presence, and to get stuck in the thoughts of its way of thinking. Keep it where it derived from. If you keep it where it derived from, then what you're doing is you're turning it on itself. You're not letting it be something that's live or a life through you, the live thing that is the life. Everything is trying to come through you and seek its way through you to become you, to eliminate you out the equation so that it remains present and you disappear. Once again, like I said, this is why people get in arguments with their mate, their partner, their wife, their husband, whoever they're with, and they, after the argument subsides and it chills for a minute, and they may go in their separate sections of the house, or she may go in the room, he may go for a walk, she may go on the porch, she may go in the backyard, whatever may happen. One of them that kind of activated that friction or that argument will come and will say, damn, I don't know why I was at. Pardon me for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I wasn't in my right mind. Something happened. And I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to say that. I don't know where I was or what happened. I really care about you. I don't know. Something took over me. That's an actual fact. If they're genuine and they're speaking from a platform of honesty within them. I appreciate that, Allah. So am I. I'm learning as well. We all learning. So think twice. Think 3 times. Think 4 times. Think 5 times. Think as many times as you want before you act out. That's how true it is. Before you act out. Oh, you want to go warm me. That's why, see? It's my warrior mess, right? It wants to go warm me. That's why I was playing with you right now. I want to be in a video and keep slipping down from you. So think a few times before you act it out, before you speak it out. Everything doesn't need to be spoken. That's on your mind. Everything doesn't need to be acted with what you're feeling in that moment. This is how certain things happen. This is why you regret doing shit that you did to the one that you so-called care about. And you really don't know where you was in that moment. Like truly, you really don't know. Some people may use that as an excuse. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, because you got people that are full of shit. But those who are genuine and honest with themselves and with this path, it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happened. I was just possessed at that moment. Pardon me, you know what I'm saying? Do you forgive me for that? You know what I'm saying? Shit happens, right? But I'm saying it's just like, do you have a deeper understanding of what's going on and what's taking place in that very moment? And that's something to ask yourself. It's not something to answer to anybody about or have a discussion with or conversation with. This is something that you answer internally within yourself. But once again, the midichlorian is the beat being held in place for wherever your mind is putting your focus on. That midichlorian gets the assistant and that bridge between the cosmic life force, the universal beat, the cosmic beat, the sound, the wave, the pulse, the rhythm, all that shit going on in the cosmic atmosphere in the universe gives you that tool and that equipment to handle it as you please. If you want to handle it in anger, be pissed off and get a headache and get sick, get frustrated, have a migraine, pop a blood vessel in your brain, whatever the hell you want. The cosmos is giving you that life force to do what you want, so do as you will with it. Are you responsible or are you irresponsible? Do you know that you are primal to that and that is after you? Or do you think that you are just subject to that? You're just victim to that. And you have no knowledge of self. You have no gnosis. You don't know who and what you truly are and what this shit really is about and where you're at and how you truly function and operate, or how this body truly functions and operates in this physical atmosphere, in this physical dimension. What dimension are you playing in? What dimension are you housing yourself within? What dimension are you homing yourself within? The midichlorian already gives you that bridge, the cosmic force and the life force to create whatever living environment and atmosphere that you want to manifest around your orbits, around your area, around your circumference, around your cipher. It's giving you the tools and equipment. You do with it what the hell you want to do with it. And don't cry when you create what you created, especially when you had some kind of control and discipline to not create that shit. And you knew it, but you didn't apply it. And this is why I tell people, or people that want to worship certain things, I say, you want to worship anything. You know, you can worship a God, whatever you want. But if you ask me what to worship, and they say, yeah, well, what should I worship? I say, since I'm about principle, I say worship action. Worship action. Worship application. Apply action. What you fail to do, do. Don't second guess that. Because especially if that what you want to do is beneficial to you and it serves you, you're not serving it. What are you waiting for? Because you have no control or discipline, then that means that you're still baby minded. You're still governed under this first or second chakra, which means that you're a dying aspect of yourself. And you're a living life force. Why would you want to be a dead body, a dragging dead body that knows better but doesn't do better? You know, they're saying, if I knew better, I'll do better. Well, there's no time like now, and there's no time at all. It's only a moment if you want to be technical. Want to be anal with the shit. The next line in doorway is saying things like express yourself, speak your mind. Freedom of speech is all, I want to say nonsense, but you have to know when to utilize these things. It actually keeps you from tapping into your path and your purpose, or it actually has a potential that can keep you from tapping into your own path and your own purpose. Because you're speaking your mind, you're speaking when you don't need to speak about anything. You know, when you get mad, you get frustrated, you get angry, and you want to say, I hate you, I don't like you, get away from me. But you know that when you say that and when those events turn out, that you actually didn't feel that way when you were by yourself. And you were silent, you were still in the room, reading a book, taking a walk. You didn't really feel that way. So why did you say it? This is where freedom of speech, speak your mind, is nonsense. Only if you don't know when to use it and how to use it. See, you gotta learn to be silent more and be still more and speaking your mind, expressing yourself. Expression is hitting somebody, speaking your mind is screaming at them while you're hitting them. Is that how you want it? Speak your mind, express yourself? Whatever happened to remaining humble? Whatever happened to being neutral? Whatever happened to trying to mutualize a situation which has become imbalanced in some form, in some way? Kids don't know how to control themselves in certain ways. They get mad when they don't get their favorite cereal in the morning, or there's no milk, or the milk ran out, or they can't find their toy around the house. That's a child's mind. And if you act like that as a so-called adult, then that just shows where you're at. You think you're spiritual, you think you're on point, you think you're conscious. But if these little triggers can trigger you in a certain way and you get thrown off immediately, you get distracted by the presence of anger, by the presence of madness, by the presence of frustration, then that just shows you where you're at. I don't have to say nothing. You don't even have to say nothing. You know what it is and you know what you are and where you're at. The whole point is, when are you going to apply what you know? When are you going to put it into action of what you know? In the very moment, because it always happens. It's always supposed to happen within the moment that you don't want it to happen. How many of y'all can put it into action at that moment when you don't want to put it into that moment? And it's not when you can do it, because that's corny. That's easy. I can just be, chill, center, relax, and not give any trouble to anybody and just be mutual and humble. But what happens when a conversation turns into an argument? Possible friction, possible conflict, possible violence, maybe. If it crosses that line, everything is looking to cross over. Remember, Anger, madness, frustration, all these things, conflict, friction, these are just energy. And energies are an extreme. You become this extremity. See, and it all derives from just one thing, giving you the tools and equipment to do what you want to do with your beats, with your wave, with your pulse, with your rhythm, with your vibration, to create the whatever manifestation that you want. And that comes once again from the nucleus intelligence of the midichlorian, giving you the tools and equipment to do so as you please, when you will, however you want. You know? Engaging in dialogue of coordinating, synchronizing ourselves with one another. Absolute. CICIWY, exactly. Absolutely. The next line and or doorway is midichlorians are the cosmic intelligence within every cell. It's a cosmic intelligence within every cell, within your cell, within every one of your cells is the intelligence of what we know or what has been identified as a midichlorian. Midichlorians are the cosmic intelligence within every single cell, which is equivalent to the cosmic tune within every soul. Within every cell, cosmic intelligence in every cell is the cosmic tune in every soul. Every cell is a soul. It's when it gets deep. All right? It's when it gets a little bit deep. Every cell is a soul that you once lived. So you've lived many lifetimes. That's why you are the solar being. And what's the solar being? The solar being is the souls that you are being, vibrating as one intelligent frequency of existence. You hear what I just told you just now? You want to understand what the soul is, what the spirit is? I just gave you an ABC 1, 2, 3 fundamental understanding of what soul, spirit is. Spirit, soul. Let me say it one more time. Midichlorians are the cosmic intelligence, the nucleus cosmic intelligence within the nucleus of every single cell, which is equivalent to the cosmic tune within every soul. What do you mean every soul? I thought it was just one soul. There's a deeper understanding to what a soul is. Appreciate that, family. No doubt, G. Every cell is a soul that you've once lived at one time, outside of time memorial. So you've lived many lifetimes. This is why they say you live many lifetimes, where they have the understanding of incarnation or carnation, incarnation, reincarnation. So you've lived many lifetimes. That's why you are the solar being. The souls that you are being. So the solar being means the souls that you are being. You get it? Understand what I'm saying? So the souls that you are being are vibrating as one intelligent frequency of existence. That one intelligent frequency of existence is what you call your spirit. See? So the cells at a certain kind of beat, wave, pulse, rhythm, and vibration going on, or beat, wave, pulse, and rhythm, that's this cosmic beat from the intelligence of the nucleus of a midichlorian, which is connected inside of your biology to the cosmology or the cosmic force, making way for the living force to be and manifest itself from the vibration that's being held in place, which is the spirit, which is a derivative of the beat, wave, pulse, and rhythm of the midichlorian, which is presently within you right now in this very moment. See, so this is what you call a soul. This is why you are the solar being. This is why you have many souls. They have certain understandings, ancient understandings of gods and goddesses or gods that are the eater of souls. They call these gods the eater of souls or the consuming of souls. And you thinking it's something dark, it's something evil, it's horrible, it's scary. It's you. So if you're scared of that, then you're actually scared of yourself. They're saying you are the eater of souls. You eat souls. But you don't eat souls. You're composed of souls. You're composed of cells. Cells are souls. So every single cell, billions and trillions and gazillions, whatever aliens you want to call this shit inside of you, is the many lifetimes that you've lived beating and waving and pulsating as one thing into this one rhythm that suits itself in this invisible suit of a vibration called the spirit, and the spirit puts on a mask and costume called a human body. So there is no soul, or what we know as soul, as a collective. So basically, the vibration or the spirit, the end product of the beat, wave, pulse, and rhythm is the vibration. And the vibration, the suit of the vibration or the suited vibration is what we know as spirit. And the spirit is nothing but a thing composed of many different cells, which is many different souls, creating one solar rhythm that manifests itself coming from the intangible plane to the tangible plane. As that travel or somewhere along that path, these cells, these cellular or solar beat, wave, pulse, and rhythms create a certain kind of rhythmic vibration that is what we know as a spirit. But the end product of a soul is the rhythm. This is why they say you got to have soul. You got you got shows back in the day like Soul Train. People dancing, doing the robot, and Michael Jackson, and all this shit. You got to have rhythm. You got to have soul. You got to have that vibration. You got to have that midichlorian. You got to have that midichlorial connection. And this is what the soul, the solar, cosmic. Because cos is also size, soul. Because the C it can be pronounced as a K or sound like an S. That's why cos is also sas or sos, which is solstice, the souls. Winter solstice, summer solstice. It's the same damn thing. And cosmic just means something that is a mic, which is a certain kind of sound, a certain kind of pitch, a certain kind of tune. It's all about sound. It's all about tune. It's all about rhythm. It's all about vibration. It's all about a beat. It's all about the pulse, the beat of New York. What is the beat of your life? You see, everything is rhythm. This whole shit is governed within sound and songs and commercials with jingles on it. And, every commercial, every damn YouTube ad, every ad on TV, whatever it may be, social media, doesn't matter. It always has a certain kind of jingle to it, a certain kind of sound that matches the image or the video or the movement going on, or the animation that you see people dancing, jumping up, laughing, skipping through a park, whatever it may be. You have to have a sound behind the animation or the image to match that, because that's what you are, right? You're a beat that's a visible thing which makes the match, see, which creates a body. Subconsciously, whether you know it or not. And then you relate to it not knowing, because you're relating to a body because you are a body. So you give attention to your body, you give attention to that body. Absolutely. Transparency. That's right, family. Transparency. See, so the whole point is this transparent aspect of us, we have to transcend beyond. So once you know that you're transparent, you transcend beyond that transparency. See, it's a see-through membrane. Or cipher, an orb is also a certain kind of membraic intelligence. See-through, invisible, which is why, like I told you before, I'm on principle, and I'm so with the principle, because principle is practicing the principles, or is practicing the formula of transparency, translucent, invisibility, intangibility, untouchable. This is what principle is about. This is why I touch upon. This is why the Spirit got me on this damn path of madness, dealing with this kind of understanding. See? Okay. The next line, Anodori, is how are you going to be able to feel, hear, and identify your midichlorial cosmic tuned message if you cannot remain still and silent within yourself? If it's a cosmic intelligence, the midichlorian within you, and it's something of a beating, waving, pulsating, rhythmic intelligence, how do you know of yourself? How can you identify your true aspect of self if you can't remain still and silent? Because to remain still is to feel that beat, to be empty, to be zero and feel that. And to be silent is to also hear the message. And you hear it by feeling. See, you hear the message by feeling the truth of the message. You don't hear it by a voice, by God talking to you or somebody talking to you, and they're telling you walk this path and be on this purpose and carry this mission. You don't hear this verbally. It's not something that comes in the English language or any other language. It's a feeling, and a feeling of knowing. But it's a feeling that the body feels, but it's also a crossover that the body's feeling derives from. It's a feeling that is beside the body, that has nothing to do with the body, that the body takes on as a physical feeling. But that physical feeling, nevertheless, never cancels out. It can't cancel out the divine feeling of where that physical feeling is actually deriving from. And that in itself becomes your knowing. And that in itself creates your path. That in itself, you are now in the perception of your truth and your path and your purpose. Because if the midichlorian is the central base of your smallest aspect, which is a cell, microscopic, one of those smallest things that is undetectable to the naked eye. And within that is something so much smaller than that inside of a cell that is known as a midichlorian, and that is the thing that's connected to the cosmic force that's the direct bridge to this living physical force, and is giving out a beat, wave, pulse, and rhythm. That is your message that you are supposed to be receiving. But before you receive, you have to recede. So if you want to receive, you have to first recede. Shed the layers of your personality, your ego, your character, your behavior, your name, where you live, what color, your race, all this. These things have certain points of reference. These things have a certain kind of importance, a certain kind of relevance when you're dealing with history in the brain and on this physical plane. But when you are by yourself is when you truly tap in, or should be tapping into your divine purpose. There's a time to put on the mask and the costume and the mask, and to take this shit off and throw it away and grab a new Halloween costume. I always tell people, to me, life is like one long day of Halloween. It's one big day of Halloween because we're all masks. Right now, I'm hidden in plain sight. This is ancient science. I'm hidden in plain sight. I'm in plain sight in front of you, but this is not who and what I am. This is who I am, but this is not what I am. And vice versa. We're all hidden in plain sight. All of us. I can see you in plain sight. If I'm looking at you, you're still hidden in front of me, because that is not what you are. That's who you are and who you identify as, but that's not what you truly are. You see? No problem. No problem, Ms. Jones. No problem. It's no problem. We all acknowledge right now, we all coming to a knowledge of self, coming into the gnosis. And it's just that time, outside of time. It's just that moment. Pardon me. Better speaking. It's just that moment. So yes, if you want to know, well, how do I know my path? How do I know my divine purpose? Or what I should be doing? You have to first cut out the distractions, the interferences. You have to first stop being distracted so easily. Stop getting Stop directing your attention to all the outer influences or interferences. You have to first go in, be silent, be still. When you do that and you recede from the simulation that we call life, then you begin to receive. Okay? It's not too much more. The next line in our doorway is, I'm glad we're touching upon this right now. Listen up. True meditation, as well as true fasting, is about tapping into the intel of the midichlorian tune. What do I mean by that? That's why meditation is all about being still and silent. In order to feel and hear your own unique calling and your own unique purpose, to identify your personal path here, right? It's always talking to you. Your midichlorians are always talking to you. They're always communicating to you. They're always giving you the spectrum. Whether you see it or not, that's on you. That's your ass. But it's always talking to you. You just can't hear it. Tap into your ever-dimensional states of existence. Think about the word 1 second. Meta is also midi. Meditation, midichlorian. It's related. It's interrelated. It's the same damn word. So if you want to tap into your midichlorian, this is where meditation becomes relevant. This is what meditation is about. This is the whole damn catch 22 or catch 23 or 24 or 28, whatever. This is the whole damn game. This is the whole catch, what meditation is about. It's about being still and being silent. Stop moving and shut the hell up. Be quiet. Not only verbally, but also the inner dialogue. Or just let the inner dialogue go on. Just become witness to it. Matter of fact, the midichlorian is where your witness is at. When you say witness, and I'm saying, I told you before in the last video, know when to be in the experience that you're having with your mate, and know when to be the one witnessing the experience that you're having with your mate. You have to become the intelligence of the midichlorian. Meditation, midichlorian, meditation. So you have to do a certain form of meditation to get to that central nucleus core of your midichlorian. See? All you're doing is trying to reach the cosmic life force, or that aspect, or that phenomenal abstract intelligence or intelligenti within you, identified as the midichlorian, to become that bridge from this physical life force to the cosmic life force, and vice versa, back and forth, to get that middle message. Meditation, midichlorian is all about the middle, being the middle pillar. And the middle pillar is the very thing that gives the bridge and is the bridge for both things to be, for both things to cross over, from the cosmic life force to cross over into the living life force, and the living life force to cross over and give back message to the cosmic life force. You become that middle thing. This is the whole damn point of meditation. That's it. But what is meditation? How do I start meditating? Sit still and shut the hell up. And just be witness to whatever you're feeling and whatever you're thinking. Go grab a bag of popcorn, go sit in the audience and just look at on stage or the screen of all your thoughts and all your feelings that this body has accumulated so far throughout your human experience. And just be one with it. And sooner or later, as you're witnessing your thoughts and you're not only feeling the feelings, but you're seeing the feelings. You're identifying the feelings and seeing the thoughts. As you become witness to that, when you're looking at it, that is the very process of suspension from it. See, suspension doesn't begin until you begin witnessing. When you begin witnessing, what you are witnessing becomes suspended from you. And you reject from it. It becomes suspended from you and you reject from it. And when you reject from it, you're going out into the grays or into the further, what they call the further. And that in itself is the true divine message. Or whatever the hell you're here for. Whatever your purpose is, whatever your path is about, If you want to know from a divine aspect, according to the understanding of this path and according to principle, you have to first shut the hell up and stand the hell still. Be silent. Be still. One who cannot stand still will always be ill. This is metaphysics. And metaphysics, meta just means transcendent. Physics just means a physical. So metaphysics means transcending beyond the physical dimension. This is what metaphysics is. This is why you see me with my titles, metaphysics, the metaphysical understanding of the occult understanding of XYZ, ABC, whatever the title is, whatever topic I'm touching upon. This is the whole damn point. See, so that's what meditation is about. Don't do none of that shit when you're meditation, because you're still bringing a sound. That sound is distracting, covering over, layering over, and interrupting and interfering with the divine cosmic sound of the intelligence of the nucleus of the midichlorian. There's no need to and hum. Sit how you want to sit. It doesn't even have to be with your legs folded. You can be standing up in the meditation. You could be walking to the kitchen, getting a cup of water, and be meditating. As long as you're not saying nothing, you're not creating any extra sound. Because you want to hear and feel and identify that unknown abstract aspect of you, which is relentlessly trying to communicate with you and trying to talk to you and trying to give you a message. Trying to say, just receive so you can receive. And there's no need to believe. Once you receive, there's no need to believe, because now you know. Why do you think the word now, N-O-W, is in the word know, K-N-O-W? Now you know. You know now. That's right, family. That's right. Exactly. Exactly. I see you, A. I see you, G. Stay in tune. Tune in. Gets a little more simple. That's why I say, as well as fasting, true meditation as well as fasting is about tapping into the intel of the midichlorian tune. When we leave this live, go check out what is a midichlorian, or the definition of midichlorian. You might be blown. According to your aspect and your perception of whatever you get from it, share that shit with me. We all learn it. We all in tune. We all tapped in. Our antennas are up. And this is the time. This is the moment for those who are on this path. For those that this shit makes sense to, and they find this information relative and relevant to their path and their purpose, and who, most importantly, what they are, but can't really understand why it's making sense to them. Don't even question it. Go with it. All right, flow with me. And that's why I said fasting as well as true meditation. Fasting is coming to your complete zero. Meditation is coming to your complete zero, coming to your complete nothing. You don't have to wear certain clothes for meditation. You don't have to have certain things around you for meditation. You don't need incense, stones, crystals, gems, rubies, a certain kind of kenta cloth. And I mean, these things kind of assist with less distraction that the body and mind can give you. But I'm just saying, that's not what it is. Be butt-ass naked and meditate if you want. You can meditate in the shower. You can meditate while taking a shit or taking a piss. It's always there. The midichlorian is always sending that cosmic beat through you, to you and through you, through you and to you. There's no need to add on any extra shit. You don't need a certain kind of scenery or a certain kind of clothes to be meditating or in a meditative state. All you're doing in meditation is trying to contact that which has always been talking to you and through you, which is your midichlorian, or the intelligence, the middle intelligence, the nucleus intelligence of a cell, which is your soul. That's it. The jig is up. It's that simple. It's that clear. You didn't know what a spirit and soul was? I just explained it to you. It's that simple. Okay? So this is why I said fasting as well, because you're fasting, you're shitting out and pissing out as much as you can, or maybe even sweating out, whatever you want to do, because you want to get to that zero, that empty state of yourself, which is why the Buddhists and the monks were so infatuated, or so not infatuated. They were so heavy on understanding the zero state of yourself, or the emptiness of self. the zero of self, the nothingness. What they call, what's that called? The nirvana, bliss. And these things were feelings or eruptions of feelings or eruptions or eruptive identifications that erupted and came up when they became nothing. These things just identify themselves with as a certain kind of feeling. And these feelings, they title it and called it these things to identify each individual eruption that erupted when they fell down to their zero state, the emptiness, becoming empty. What does zero and empty mean? When you're becoming empty and becoming zero and becoming nothing, that means that you're in direct contact with your midichlorian, with the intelligence of your midichlorian that's been talking to your ass the whole damn time. I'm like, damn, goddamn, by the time you woke up and saw me, by the time you acknowledging me and giving me attention and talking to me, here, take this message. That's how true it is. Take this message that I've been trying to give you for years. Do something with that shit. Now it's your time. Now it's your moment. You're on the path. Take control. Don't let it take control of you. Become disciplined with self, within self, and take control. See? So, let's go on to the next line doorway. The next line in doorway is, you're a multi-dimensional as far as spiritual understanding goes, right? You're multi-dimensional as far as spiritual understanding. What does that mean? Human body, spiritual body, solar body, or embodiment, right? Human, spirit, soul. You're multi-dimensional as far as spiritual understanding goes. But when it comes to scientific or biological understanding, which can also be seen and interpreted as solar or spiritual as well, depending on what angle you're perceiving this knowledge from. When it comes to scientific or biological understanding, you're quadruple or quad dimensional, which is 4 dimensions. You're quintuple or quindimensional, which is 5 dimensions. You're sextuple or sex-dimensional, which is 6 dimensional, 6 dimensions. You're septuple or sept-dimensional, which is 7 dimensions. And octuple or oct-dimensional, which is 8. So, as far as you're a multi-dimensional being when it comes to spiritual understanding the human body, the spiritual body, and the soul body, or the solar body. But when it comes to a biological or scientific understanding, as they're breaking it down, or it has been broken down into its most least common denomination, full process of synthesizing something to that, to this, to that, to synthesizing to its least common denomination. There's so many dimensions of intelligences that we are the presence of, that is governed within this system. So multidimensional as far as spiritual, we can say, yeah, human, spirit, and soul. But when you go into the scientific and science, of course, like I told you, science is seance, which is also spiritual, which is also ritual, which is also has to do with ceremony in some way. But as scientific or biological understanding, you're a quadruple or quad-dimensional being. You're a quintuple or quin-dimensional being. You're a sextuple or sex-dimensional being. You're a septuple or sept-dimensional being. And an octuple or oct-dimensional being. So it goes from 4 to 8. See, multi is just 3. When you get to the 4 through 8, then that's when you get the quadruple, the quintuple, sextuple, septuple, and octuple. See, nobody's talking about this shit. We always say multi-dimensional, multi. But multi is 3 and 3 is a side, and that's the first shape, which is why people keep remaining shape-minded. They can't break out that shape because they're being told that they're just multi-dimensional. You are many dimensions within dimensions, within dimensions, within dimensions, within dimensions, within dimensions, within dimensions, within that intelligence, within an intelligence, and intelligence within that intelligence, and intelligence within that intelligence, and and intelligence within that intelligence, and so on and so on and so on, which is why I said you can never know what you truly are. You can only look in the mirror and see who you are. But what you are, you will never know because it's so far beyond you, which means that it's so prior before that, which is what you truly are. You're so prior. You're so you're so primal. There is no location, identification, definition to what you truly are, and there'll never be that. It's impossible. It's an impossibility. It can never happen. So stop trying to define yourself with where you're at and what you are. You're not going to find out. You're not meant to. See, in metaphysics, there was an understanding that we learned before. They said, when we asked the question in class in the University of Communication Sciences, UKS, he said, if we were to give God a personality, how do we understand what the creation is, or what creator is, what God is? And they said, well, and while we're here, and what was told to us through Valley was that, well, what we know as this creation thing or this God thing, it was something that made a contract to forever be lost within itself, which means that it doubts itself, it questions itself, it looks for itself, it seeks itself, it doesn't know of itself, it wants to know of itself, doesn't believe in itself, which is what people do, right? Isn't that what people do? Human beings do that. We doubt God as atheists. We don't believe in it. We believe in it. We don't know what it is. We're always seeking, searching, trying to find, reading. It's a constant thing because it made it, or the God or the creation or creator made it that way to forever be lost within itself. And the only ties or strings connecting it to itself is what we know as consciousness, awareness, and knowing. That's the only kind of three strings that it has to its divine self. But it's always lost within these three strings. It knows, it only knows, but it can't identify what it truly knows. And it made a divine contract to be like that forever. So it made a contract to forever be lost within itself, which is why you'll never know what you truly are. And it's not meant for you to know because this brain can't even fathom or grasp or encompass that kind of understanding. It's not made, it's not created, it's not designed in a way to grasp that divine purpose or that divine understanding. Okay. Yeah. So that's what you are, and so on and so on and so on. Inner and inner and inner, and intelligence within an intelligence, and so on and so on, which is basically you are an ongoing, ever-flowing experience of existence, an ongoing, ever-flowing experience of existence itself. Leave it alone. The next line in our doorway is, this next shit. Your midichlorians are your own personal intel. It's trying to tell you something on the inside of you. Be still and listen. You don't listen with this, you listen with this. This is where the beat is at. The beginning is the end. The starting is the finishing point. The starting point is the finishing point. There's nowhere else to look, nowhere else to direct your attention to or to acknowledge. Just this. See? So your midichlorians are your own personal intel. It's trying to tell you something on the inside of you. Just be still and listen. Another form of listening is just feeling, detecting, being open to, surrendering to, submitting to, giving permission, giving access. That's another way of feeling or identifying. Okay. The next line in doorway is a midichlorian inside of a cell is equivalent to an organism within an organism, an intelligence within an intelligence. Why do you think when you're writing things down and numbering your notes, when you number your notes, when you're writing stuff down on your paper and you're numbering your notes, note number one, note number two, note number three, note number four. Why do you think that when you're writing things down and numbering your notes, you draw circles around each number next to different notes that you're writing, next to the numbers of different notes that you're writing? Why do you think your different states of thinking are even called notes? Notes. I'm writing down notes, which means that you're writing down sound, because notes is the same word related to sound. Sound is the same word as tune, the note, sound. So when you're writing down notes on your paper, and you're writing down note number one, note number two, I keep this in mind, note number three, note number four. You put the number one and you write a circle over one. The second note, you put two and you write a circle over two. The third note, you write three, you put a circle over three. A midichlorian inside of a cell is equivalent to an organism within an organism, because an organism is a certain kind of intelligence. A midichlorian is a certain kind of intelligence within a cell, within a certain kind of organismic being or an organismic atmosphere, which is what we call a cell. Organism or organismic just means organizing, a certain kind of organization to bring about a certain kind of product or to bring about a certain kind of movement with a certain purpose that serves a purpose. So an organism within an organism, and these things are so microscopic. One is numbers of different things, even though numbers don't exist, but we're just going to say as far as like quantity. There's things inside of things, inside of that thing, inside of that thing, inside of that thing, inside of that thing, inside of that thing. And these are numbers within what we see as a cell, which is what we identify some kind of circular, oval kind of looking thing, which is a certain kind of circle, which is why I said you draw the number one inside of a circle, which is why you write down the numbers of your notes and put circles around these numbers, because the numbers represents the quantity of numbers of intelligences within that circle or that cell. So even the way you write is symbolic of how you internally operate and how you internally function. And which is why you call what you're writing down. I gotta write this note before I forget it. Let me write these notes down. How many notes do I have so far? Okay, I have this many notes, that many notes. I'm gonna touch upon this, touch upon that. Why are they called notes? Notes, music, sound, tunes, it's the same damn thing. So you're not writing down notes, you're writing down sound. You're writing down tunes. You're writing down music. See? It's the same damn thing. It's within our very language. The very nature of us is within our very doing of how we do. Literally. The next slide, and doorway is, what was this? These like little notes I was making before myself to keep myself on point in line with what was going on. An atomic bomb explodes by splitting one atom, activating its atomic nucleus, disrupting its inner intelligence, waking up its intel, making direct contact with its midichlorian or midichlorian intelligentsia. So this is how an atom bomb or a bomb explodes, by splitting an atom. When you split an atom, that means you're splitting the nucleus. When you split the nucleus, you're splitting the middle intelligence. So what is the middle intelligence called? A midichlorian. So when you split or affect or disrupt or distract or interfere with the midichlorian intelligence, which is the nucleus intelligence of an atomic phenomenon, an explosion happens. And an explosion happens because an explosion is a product or a projection of an implosion occurring. M-I-M creates the explosion. Because there has to be something inside that happens before it shows its effect and devastation on the outside. You see, so this is how an atomic bomb explodes, or an A bomb explodes. It begins by splitting only one atom. That's all it does, is split one atom. An explosion happens. So what is it saying? The most minute, the most subtle, the most subliminal, the most nucleus, or the most, the nuclei, or the intelligence of the nuclei, the intelligence of the nucleus. If you disrupt that, you interfere, an explosion happens. And this is also what happens with meditation or spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awakening. When you become still and silent, you affect that nucleus, that nucleus, that core, that center, that central of that cell, of that soul. You activate something, you wake it up, and all of a sudden, this is what they call the Kundalini rising. Because before you get the chakra, to touch upon the chakras, or the energy fields, or the energy seals, the energy clusters, you spin these wheels that rise up the chakra. You have to first activate the Shakti. The Shakti is the feminine aspect of the masculine aspect of the chakra. Chakra is the rising, or the erection, or the eruption from an interruption and distraction of an explosion that happens in the Shakti energy, which means that you have now disrupted or made contact, for better understanding, with your midichlorian intelligence. That's how you rise your chakra, by affecting or activating the dormant or latent sleep, or latent what or latent force of the midichlorians. So if you want to rise your chakra, you have to first affect the Shakti. It's funny because, look it up yourself, inside of what you call your, what's that shit called? The coccyx bone, the tailbone. Do you know that there's something in your tailbone or your coccyx bone that's called blasto cells? Look it up. It's called blasto cells. Like a blast off, like a blasting. Look it up. It's called blasto cells. That happens when the midichlorian, the living force, makes contact with the cosmic force through the medium or middle bridge of the midichlorian. Look it up for your damn self. I'm just connecting pieces. I'm not teaching anything. I'm just reminding you of what the hell you already know. Just have to remind you. In order for me to remind you, I have to rewind you. See, that's why you only receive when you recede. I'm just reminding you, but I'm rewinding you. If you want to receive, then you have to first recede down to the center, to the core, to the central station of your true existence, which is where the midichlorian lies. Okay, this is what they call the sleeping giant. The sleeping giant is your soul. And it's right there where the midichlorian is at. The midichlorian is located inside of the solar intelligence, inside of the cellular intelligence, inside of the soul, inside of the cell. See? It's funny to always think about that. Sell your soul your cell. Don't sell your soul, just soul your cell. Okay? Don't sell your soul. There's no need to sell your soul. Just soul your cell. just feel like playing with that shit. It just came to me. Don't be stealing that shit from me either. Not to copyright that one. The next line and or doorway is only about maybe two more. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? 13, 14. All right. 15. This is okay. Check this out. Right? You know what's up, son. You know what it is, family. Next line and or doorway is this is why what we know as magic, witchcraft. Right? One second, I'm saying it one more time. This is why what we know as magic, witchcraft, voodoo, hoodoo, brujeria, sorcery, incantation, spells, alchemy, bewitchment, necromancy, wizardry, black magic, evil magic. What else? Occult or occultum, which means nothing but dark, were banned and titled as taboo. Well, why? Why was these things banned as taboo? Why were they called entitled bamboo? Pardon me, taboo. Because tapping into that aspect of the soul, tapping into that aspect of the cell was equivalent to making direct contact with your supernatural, abstract, primal nature, divine purpose, and rhythmic intelligence of your midichlorial existence. Thus, invoking, conjuring up, and conducting a supernatural and supranatural orchestration of elemental energy being intentionally navigated solely by your own divine force at will. I don't know if y'all picked up all that what I just said, but let's make it simple. Magic, wizardry, sorcery, all these different things where you're actually manipulating forces and elements and energy according to your will was known as taboo, because that means that you're now tapping into that midichlorial intelligence within you. You're tapping into that cell. You're tapping into your soul. See? So, in other words, whatever the agenda was to not do that, to not tap into that, that's bad. That's evil. That's of the devil. That's demonic. Don't do that. Stay away from that. They're making you scared of some shit that is actually you. They're making you scared of you. They're making you a monster to you. They're telling your story and basically making you seem like a horror story. But the horror is within you. Horror is Heru. You are the rising. You are the sun. The sun is the Sunu. Sunu is teacher. You are the teacher. And the teacher will appear when the student is ready. You're both the student and the teacher and the student. So tapping into these abstract, supernatural, so-called activities, these primal activities within your primal nature, means that you're actually going to have a direct contact and communication with your midichlorial intelligence, which means that you're going to actually tap into the cosmic force. Because you're doing things that don't necessarily make sense. So it's out of your senses, out of the boundary of sense. You're doing things that was informed for you to do so by some kind of unknown cosmic anonymous address within you. that was addressed to you. See what I'm saying? So this is the whole point. The whole agenda is to remain human, remain physical, remain third dimensional. Don't worry about all the other stuff, because if you tap into that, then you're evil. You're wrong. You're bad. You're a demon. It's nonsense. Tapping into that abstract aspect of yourself is tapping into the abstraction of self. And when that happens, when you tap into that nucleus, everything that so-called surrounds that nucleus, or the membrane of that nucleus on the outer aspect of this reality, will immediately disappear. It will immediately vanish. It will immediately self-destruct. It's a self-eliminating process. It's on a countdown. It's done. See, so that's why I want to explain the whole magic aspect and stuff of that, things of that nature. From a metaphysical standpoint, a metaphysical, once again, meta meaning transcend or transcendence, to transcend beyond. Physical means to transcend beyond the physical realm. From a metaphysical standpoint, a dimensionally transcendent standpoint and point of view, what we know as midichlorians are actual entities. This is a little more deep understanding of what a midichlorian is. Midichlorians are actual entities, alive and well, just like you and me. They're alive. They're alive. Just like you and me, just like me and you. They are actual living things inside of you, deeply inside of your innards. They're an energy turned entity, but an entity which is only visible as energy or energy form within its own formlessness. Sound familiar? When I told you that your mate is not your mate, your husband is not your husband, your wife is not your husband, they don't exist out there. They exist within you. They're just an entity that derive from an energy. They're an energy turned entity, but that entity that you see is actually an energy form within you, which can play an effect on you. How can he or she play an effect on your mind and the way you feel? Because they reside in there. They don't reside out there. If they resided out there, it's impossible for anybody to have an effect inside of you. Your biology, psychology, biology, astrology, cosmology is all connected. So this is why I said the midichlorians are actual entities, alive and well, just like you and me. They are actual living things inside you, deeply inside of your innards. They're an energy turned entity. These little entities, they're an energy form turned into these little entity forms. They're an energy turned entity which can only be visible as energy, though, or an energy form, a form within its own formlessness, if you can understand what I'm saying. It's deep, but it's not really deep. It's not complex. It's not complicated. It's actually very simple. I think I'm breaking this down quite simple. Okay. So, and I was just certain notes how music, when you listen to music, again, this is why it has echoes or echoing voices or echoing singings in it, because it's trying to affect your muse and your midichlorians. I told you in the last video, your muse is where the word music comes from. The word music comes from the word muse, and the muse is the midichlorian, because the midichlorian creates the beat for the muse to have the rhythm in order for you to start moving and having the spirit of something, or becoming the spirit of something, because now you're animating and moving as the epitomal vibration of that rhythm, which came from the beat, which derived from the midichlorian inside of the cell, inside of the soul. So these music, or these songs, have these echoes, or singers echoing, these sounds of echoes, right? Because it's trying, as you're hearing these songs echoing, it's also an echoing echoing inside you. And it's trying to get to that echo, to that echo, to that echo. It's synthesizing, 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 becoming inner, 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 innate, 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 insidious, 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 trying to reach that nucleus core of you, which is your midichlorian. See, this is all on the focus and attention of your midichlorian, or your midichlorians, or the intelligence of the midichlorians within you. Everything, every sound, every music, every song is trying to affect that in some way, the core of you in some way. What they call that, Russian dolls. The Russian dolls, you open the doll, another little small doll inside of it. You open another doll, a little smaller doll inside of it. You open that little doll, a little smaller doll inside of that one. You open that little one, so smaller one, and it keeps going on and on. That last smallest little Russian doll inside of that big Russian doll, the smallest littlest one, is known as your midichlorian. That was an imitation of what is the midichlorian and the cell and everything else that goes with that. See? Appreciate it. No doubt, family. Absolutely. See, we on the path. We all on the path. And we're trying to just understand, take it all in some way, in some form, some fashion. If it makes sense to you, do not deny what makes sense to you, what hits you, even in a way that you don't understand. Because if you don't understand it and you take it and then you do something with it, then that's spiritual. The brain is always trying to make sense of something. Don't pay attention to that shit. Go with shit that don't make sense to you. And just like the Russian doll, you have other aspects or other examples of it, like your iris. You have your eye, the sclera, which is the white part, the iris, which is the muscle or the color muscle that contracts and constricts, and the pupil in the middle. So everything is always trying to tell you there's something in the middle of 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 the middle thing. And there's always something in the middle of that, in the middle of that, in the middle of that, in the middle of that. And the nucleus of that, the nucleus of that, the nucleus of that. The very way you are created, everything that you do and are, points directly to the evidence of this understanding. See? And it's funny too, because when you look at the eye, the gel around the eye is called the vitreous, just like the word virtual. And the lens is suspended from the eye by small fibers called the zonules, like the word zone. So basically, what is this saying as a God that you are, as the entity, as the divine source that you are? It's saying that you create your own zone of virtue, or your own virtual zone of existence. I'm just playing with words that are connected to other words. Dealing with your eye. The gel around your eye is called the vitreous. Gel, the plasma of life, the ooze of life. And the lens is suspended from the eye by small fibers called zonules. The zone, the lens, put yourself into the zone of the virtue. Create your own virtual zone of existence. You have the tools, you have the equipment to do so. When are you going to apply it? It's the question. Worship action. It's funny too, because I was looking at some Mighty Mouse, cartoon Mighty Mouse. And Spirit said that Mighty Mouse was also is the midichlorian muse. So Mighty Mouse is known as subliminal. Mighty Mouse is actually midichlorian muse, which is why the character is a mouse. A mouse is small, right? The midichlorian is microscopic, small, right? Mighty Mouse, midichlorian muse. That's why the mouse is small, just like the cells and the microscopic midichlorians. Evidence is right there. Everything is all in your face. No. And one more thing, I was just talking about the atom, the structure in atom, which was known at one point, which the word atom comes from the word atum. And atum meaning is also the same thing as attune. Atom, Attune is the exhibited intelligence of the midichlorian, once again, or the midichlorian function. It's all about midichlorian today, y'all. What is that midichlorian? I advise every single one of y'all to go and check the definition of a midichlorian. What is a midichlorian? Check it out for yourself. It's right there. Google that shit ASAP. Tell me what you get from it. Share it with me. Let's build. Okay, so of course you know how it goes. Amias, as I am. Most importantly, as you are. As you are. As you are. Still got more physical copies for display. It'll be available. The book will be available on Amazon November 15th, 2022. On Amazon, Barnes & Noble, thriftbooks.com, along with a few other different platforms. But it's available now for sale on bookbaby.com. Bookbaby.com. It's now available for sale, $19.99 on the website, as well as on my person. For those of y'all who are local around me, it's $19.99 for the physical, official copy of it. And that's pretty much it. These are all for sale that I make too as well. These are certain customers. It's the copies I have on me available at the moment. If you're interested, get in touch. I definitely got hoodies. Absolutely. I got hoodies. You see, I got the sweater. I got whatever you want, whatever size you want, whatever color you want. It's all available. Because like I said, you know how I start my thing off, so I appreciate that. Spread that fire, spread that light, expose that spirit out there. It's always appreciated and understood, acknowledged and appreciated. That's why I tell people, why get just the Amias as I am without getting the as you are. It doesn't make too much sense because all my video platforms, I start off with Amias as I am, as you are. Doesn't make sense to get the as you are without the Amias as I am, or the Amias as I am without the as you are. You buy both of them together, it's $29.99. If it's bought separately, it's $19.99. $19.99 for a shirt, sweater, hoodie, pants, whatever. $19.99 for the book. But when you buy a set, a piece of clothing with the book, it's $29.99, which is a $10 discount. I told you in the last video as well, I'm going to be a part of a video series pretty soon on YouTube. I'll keep y'all in touch and in tune with that somewhere around December, maybe January the latest. Also have an album coming out, like I told y'all. I'll kick these little lines in the beginning of my video now. Once in a while, I may kick some. Get a little nursery rhyme out there, let y'all know I'm with it, and it's in me. That rhythm, that midichlorian is within me. That muse is here. The album will be dropping pretty soon. This winter, sometime this winter, between 2022 and 2023. I don't know if I'm going to have the tracks for download or I'm going to have the whole album for download. I got to make up my mind on that. I'm going to be holding as well. I'm going to be holding a book signing at Barnes & Noble. If you want any information with that, you can get in touch with my email. I have all my information on the bottom of this video, as I always do on the bottom of all my videos, how to get in touch with me through email. asulazul11@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me for the book signing. And there's also going to be a ill speaking engagement, touching upon the principles, my book, As You Are, The Art of Mastering Principle Within Personal Intimate Relationships. And this is the book. This is the clothing. This is the music. This is the sound. This is the presence. This is the spirit all around me. So once again, stay tuned and tune in. Amias, as I am, as you are. See you guys next time. And until then, I'll keep you in vision. 1, 0. That's right.